Hello everyone and welcome to the One Stop Co-op Shop. This is Colin and today we are going to start 1,000 Shapes of Horror. This is Quest 2B in our Dream Eaters campaign. It's our 4th one, or our 5th one if you include our side quest. So what I'm going to start with is showing our level ups. So for Joe's not going to do any sort of level up. I am saving up for higher education because I think that'll be great for him, but that costs 8 XP with Taboo. So we'll see. So right now he's banked 3 XP. He's not going to use it. We'll see what we're going to do. For Patrice, she has her 2 arcane research, so she can upgrade her ward of protection for free. And then she's going to use she had 1 remaining unspent XP from last scenario, and then she got 3 from the current one. So we have 4 that we can use. We're going to upgrade both of our Peter Sylvesters, so that cost us 4 XP. To stop the merging between the land of dreams and the waking world, you decide to force your way into the dreamlands, as your new companion Randolph calls the dimension, in your physical body instead of traveling there in your sleep. While there are many dangers to this method of travel, I think it is better than the alternative, Randolph claims. If we venture there in our sleep, we may become trapped like your companions, unable to wake. You agree. You can do little good trapped on the other side, especially if you aim to help your dreaming companions. Our first step is to find a key, even in places where dreamland borders the waking world. One cannot simply walk between them. I once possessed a key to the Gate of Dreams, but I lost it years ago and I have been unable to find it since, he laments. Check the campaign log. If the black cat is at your side, proceed to Intro 2, otherwise skip to Intro 3. What we have on ours, let's see, we have Randolph escaped the hospital with us. Dr. M is missing. No, the black cat is not at our side. So we'll go to Intro 3. You go through the usual motions. When was the last time you saw it? Where was the last time you used it? And the like. Randolph sighs and shakes his head. You don't understand. It's not a physical key. It never was. The key was the sense of wonder, fantasy, and creativity that sparked my imagination when I was young. These are the things we do not value in maturity. It is only natural the key to these kinds of dreams should be lost with age. You ask what might have turned Randolph's mind away from the fantastical and toward more practical concerns. He thinks for a brief time, mulling over the possibilities. Then his eyes go wide as he realizes something important. There was an incident many years ago. It was the last time I was involved with something supernatural. That is, before today, he explains. I met a friend of mine, Joel Manton, in the graveyard next to the old abandoned house in the Merchant District, the one they call the Unnameable. I didn't want to believe that it was truly haunted, as the stories told, but in merely repeating the legend, I drew the creature's ire. You ask of the creature, and Randolph closes his eyes as violent shudders courses up his spine. It cannot be described. All I know is that we barely survived. It was my fault Joel was hurt. From that day forth, I have had no desire to delve into the supernatural or the superstitious. Not because I did not believe, but because I was frightened. Is that why the key eludes me? Is that why I can no longer dream? The realization hits him, clear as day. I know where we have to go. That is where I lost the key. That must be where it can be regained, he exclaims wide-eyed. As Randolph frantically tries to hail a taxicab, you realize where he means to go, to the house without a name, where the indescribable creature that still haunts his memory resides. Well, that sounds great. We'll grab all of the encounter sets noted here below, then put the following locations into play: the burial ground, front porch, upstairs hallways, both downstairs hallways, and both upstairs hallways. Okay, cool. See suggested location placement on the next page. Each investigator begins at the burial ground. That sounds wonderful. Set the following cards aside out of play: the attic, the unmarked tomb, all 6 mysterious stairs locations, all 4 endless descent treacheries, and the silver key. Shuffle the remaining and create the encounter deck. We'll go ahead and set up our locations as follows. It looks like this is the burial ground, the front porch, the downstairs doorways, then we've got our upstairs doorway, and then our upstairs doorways. The house that Randolph calls the Unnameable is not much to look at. The run-down 17th century building has been abandoned for decades and has fallen into disrepair. Its door is scratched and pitted, most of the window panes are shattered, and rats crawl around the foundation. Ugh, rats. You're still not sure exactly what you're meant to find inside the old house, but Randolph insists that you need to locate the key. Seems like you have no choice but to search the house and see what you can turn up. Objective: explore the house to find a way into the Dreamlands. Find and complete an objective on another scenario card to advance. Oh, interesting. We can see here, skulls give us -1 or -3 in the graveyard. We have our cultist, which keeps requiring us to draw another token. If you fail and the unnameable is in play, it attacks you, regardless of its location. That sounds gross. Now, I had to put one of these in our bag. I really hope I did this right, because the black cat technically isn't with us, but we were supposed to put one of these in each of the bags. I have noted that we were supposed to put a rock. So we get a +2 with that. This black cat causes a distraction. If this test is successful, choose and evade an enemy at any location with a fight value of X or lower, where X is the amount of you succeed by. That's cool. And then we do have 2 of these squiggly guys. If you -2, if you fail, you must either place one of your clues on your location or take 1 damage. Here we have all of our locations set up. We will both start here in the burial ground. Each ghoul enemy drawn spawns at the burial ground instead of its normal location. And then investigators in the burial ground can spend 2 clues as a group to remember that the investigators noticed the missing bones. Yeah, I think we're definitely going to want to do that. We need to get past a 4 shroud though. That's going to be tough. Let's go ahead and draw our starting hand. So we have Ward, we have Sixth Sense, Cornered, Guts, and the Bloodstone Dagger. Well, I like Sixth Sense and Cornered. I think I'd take those actions. So I'm going to keep those 2. Actually, I'm going to keep them in my hand. I'm going to go ahead and put those 3 back into my deck after I draw 3 new ones. Last Chance, Fearless, and Improvised Weapon. Perfect. Now what I'm going to do is take those 3 that I decided to set aside, and I'll shuffle them back into my deck. For Joe, let's go ahead and draw his 5. Ooh, a Beat Cop. Oh, a Shortcut. That's nice. Dr. Milan. Oh, we can discard Psychosis. We'll put that back in a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Oh, man, this is... The only thing I don't have is a weapon. What do I want to get rid of for a weapon? Well, if I get Beat Cop up, I have 5 for an attack. I might just keep this. Yeah, I think I'm going to keep this. Then we'll go ahead and take our Hunch deck. We'll shuffle it up, and we'll flip over. Scene of the crime. Play as your first action. Discover a clue. Well, we could totally do that. And then I'll take Psychosis here, and I'm going to shuffle it back in to my player deck. Let's go ahead and start off with Joe, and let's do the scene of the crime. Play only as your first action. Discover 1 clue at your location, 2 clues instead if there's an enemy at your location. There's no enemy, but at least for 1 action, it's going to cost me 2 resources. I can go ahead and collect this clue. Sweet. Then I think for my action 2 and action 3, I'm just simply going to generate 1 resource. And then action 3, I'm going to put Milan out. That's going to help our intellect as well as help our resource generation. For Patrice, her first 2 actions will be to drop Sixth Sense and Cornered down. So that's all 5 of her resources. And remember, Sixth Sense allows us to investigate with our willpower, and Cornered, we can discard 1 card from our hand to give ourselves a +2 skill value for that test. And then I think we're going to, for our 3rd action, use our Sixth Sense and try and investigate. So we are going to use our willpower. And the nice thing is we've got this last chance. We can commit only to a skill test when there's no other skill test cards committed. And it's going to lose question marks equal to the amount of cards in our hand. We have 2, but actually, great idea. I'm going to discard Improvised Weapon with our Cornered. This is going to be awesome. So that's going to give us +2 to our willpower. So our willpower is 6. And then this will be 7, 8, 9, 10. We're doing 10 to a 4. 10 to a 4. Come on, we should be able to do this. We get +1. Well, that definitely will work. 11 to 4. Yeah, we've collected this. So now investigators in the burial ground can spend 2 clues as a group. And then remember that the investigators noticed the missing bones. And we gained a victory point. I really want victory points because I want Joe to be able to get that higher education. We'll skip over the enemy phase. There's no enemies out on the board, so then we'll move to upkeep. Each of them will generate 1 resource. We will have Patrice discard her Fearless. That would have been nice to use, but I guess I could have used it. Whatever. We're going to draw 5 new cards for her. Oh my gosh. Oh, she's got her Patrice Violin. That's great. And a lot of things that she can't use because she has too much sanity left. Joe over here gets to draw 1 measly card, and he'll draw another Beat Cop. I think that's, yeah, he's got both Beat Cops in his hand now. We'll drop 1 Doom onto our agenda. Let's go ahead and draw Mythos cards. Our first one is for Patrice, and she gets the Glimpse of the Underworld. Put Glimpse of the Underworld in play in your threat area. When you would take damage and or horror, take 1 additional. Or you can discard this as a free action to take 1 damage and 1 horror. Yeah, she's probably going to do that because we don't want that in our threat area. I looked briefly at these cards. We definitely don't want things in our threat area. Obscuring Fog. How about I say that right? Obscuring Fog. Attached to your location, it gains +2 Shroud. Yes, great time. We already did our investigating there. Let's start off with Joe again. Let's go ahead and have him spend 1 action to move to the front porch. Investigators in the entryway can spend 2 clues as a group to reveal the upstairs hallway. So I'm assuming, yeah, let me look at this. It states a melodious presence prevents you from venturing upstairs, so you cannot enter the upstairs hallway. So yeah, we can't enter this until we do that. If the unnameable has, oh boy, has 2 clues or more damage on it, I shouldn't say 2 clues, 2 investigators or more damage on it, smoke trails off the creature leading to a tomb near the center of the cemetery outside. Put the set aside unmarked tomb location into play. Okay, we don't have to worry about that yet. Our current investigation level is 5, so let's go ahead and use this for 6, and if we succeed, we can find both of these clues. So this is action 2. Of course, before I do that, I do need to reveal, awesome, yeah, thank you. We have Working a Hunch as our top card of our hunch deck. 6 to 2, 6 to 2, what's it gonna be? We'll draw this one, and that's a -2, so it's a 4 to a 2. That is still good. We've collected 2 clues. Now, we've got 1 more action. And what I'm thinking of doing is using our shortcut here. We can use this as a fast action, so it doesn't take our 3rd action. Play only during your turn. Choose an investigator at your location, and move that investigator to a connecting location. So let's go ahead and move ourselves to this downstairs doorway. We're at the parlor. For each investigator at the parlor, it gets +1 Shroud. If the unnameable has 2, so a total of 4 or more damage on it, the mirror gleams unnaturally, revealing a giant or a glint of silver. Remember that the investigators recovered a strange key. Oh, okay. Well, he's not around yet. I mean, I'm assuming he's not around. Hopefully I haven't missed something. You know what this means, though? I've really got to find a weapon. Okay, you guys, I don't know what I was thinking. I'll make sure to make a note. I'm going to gain myself 2 resources again because I played Scene of the Crime from my hunch deck, and that should be at a -2 cost. Well, I paid those 2 resources, so I should have 3 resources, not 1. I'm also going to play Working a Hunch, and this is for free from my hunch deck, and it's fast, so it's still not my 3rd action. Play only on your turn, discover 1 clue at your location. That means we can try and find this final clue here. We're at a 3 compared to our 5. Let's go ahead and draw from here, and we get a +1. Wow. So that goes ahead and gains us this last clue, and because I forgot last time, I don't remember this time, I am going to exhaust Milan to gain 1 resource. So that's going to give me 4 total resources. And that finally will end Joe's turn. First thing I'm going to do for Patrice is activate the free action here, and I'm going to take 1 horror and 1 damage, and I'm going to discard this Glimpse of the Underworld. Don't want to deal with that. Then I know it's going to get me a little bit behind, but I still think it's worth it. I'm going to spend 1 of my 2 actions to gain 2 resources. My second one, I'm going to play my violin, which allows me to choose and discard 1 card from your hand and exhaust this to choose and investigate at your location to either gain 1 resource or draw a card. Yeah, to me, that's worth it. I'm also then going to immediately exhaust that, and I'm going to discard Say Your Prayers to generate 1 resource. Now I have 3 or fewer sanity remaining, so that's going to make these worth something. We'll move to the upkeep phase since there's no enemies out. We will each generate resources. Patrice will have 2. Joe will have a total of 5. Patrice will discard these 3 cards remaining in her hand. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Draw 5 new ones. Oh, we've got St. Hubert's Key, but I don't even know if I need that. Oh, and we do have a Ward of Protection, and we have a Winging It. Joe here will simply draw 1 card, and he gets his Detective Colts. Beautiful. Our second Doom will be dropped here. Let's go ahead and draw our encounter cards. Our first card will be for Patrice, and we have Revelation. Test Willpower 3. If you fail, take 1 horror and put this into play next to the agenda deck. Abilities on locations cannot be triggered. At the end of the round, discard 1 copy of this from play. Okay, right now that's not terrible. I'll go ahead and use my cornered card and discard this prophecy to get +2 to my willpower. So my willpower is 6. It's 6 to a 3. Let's draw, and seriously? +1. You guys, I'm literally just drawing from this bag. This bag is amazing. It's really nice. Okay, our second one we have is the Ghoul Minion. That will spawn in the burial ground. And that's specific to the burial ground location. It states here, each ghoul enemy drawn spawns at the burial ground instead of its normal location. Let's start off with Patrice. She's going to go ahead and move to the downstairs doorway. And I honestly feel like this location was made for her. We have the ability, we have 4 clues here. After you successfully investigate this den, discard 1 card from your hand to discover an additional clue. We love discarding cards. The first thing we are going to do is exhaust our violin here and discard Winging It, because Winging It will be better from our discard pile, plus it generates us a 3rd resource. Beautiful. We'll then go ahead and play Winging It from our discard pile. We'll spend the 1 resource to do so. This is our action 2. You may play this from your discard pile. If you do, shuffle it into your deck after resolving. We have to investigate. Currently our investigate is only 2. But our location gets -1 shroud for this investigation. So we're going from a 2 to a 3. Now that's not great, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to commit this unexpected courage to put us to a 4 to a 3. And then I'm going to use my cornered and discard ward of protection. That's going to give us +2, so it's actually a 6 to a 3. Wow, she is so much fun, you guys. Highly recommend you play her. I'm just saying. Now, if I get a +1 again, that would be ridiculous, and I hope you guys don't think I'm cheating. Okay, there we go. 6 minus 2 is 4, 4 to a 3. That means we've collected 1. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me read this card. It gets -1 shroud. If you played it from your discard pile, discover 1 additional clue, and then I'm going to discard the St. Hubert's key in my hand, so I'm going to obtain an additional clue. So I just did all 3 clues for that action. With those 3 clues that we have found, I'm going to spend 2 of them as a group, and remember that the investigators studied a desecrated portrait. Okay. For our final action, let's go ahead and give Sixth Sense a try. Our willpower is only 4. We have no cards left in hand, so we can't use our corner to power it up. So we're just going to be doing 4 to a 4. But the nice thing is, if we reveal any of these other tokens, we'll actually be able to take a 2 instead of a 4 because we can use the adjacent location. I love that. So let's see. Come on. We're hoping for one of those symbols, really. Or a 0. A 0 would be great. No, instead we got a star, which that is even better. A star is a +1, and after this test ends, you may shuffle all but 1 card from your discard pile back into your deck. Yeah, I'm definitely going to do that. And I think the 1 card I'm going to leave in here is I'm going to leave this improvised weapon, just in case. I'll leave that in my discard pile. I'll go ahead and shuffle everything else back into my deck. That is crazy, you guys. We'll move to Joe. The first thing is, looking at his hunch deck, we'll have to flip the top 1 over. Play as your first action, discover 1 clue. Yeah, that's not helpful this time because there are no clues here. We're going to go ahead and spend 4 out of the 5 of our resources to put down our Detective Colt. What's great about this is this up to 2 tool assets you control do not take up hand slots. So you know those magnifying glasses? We can still put them down. We can spend 1 ammo to fight. You get +1 and deal +1 damage. If this attack defeats an enemy, you may move an insight event from your discard pile to the bottom of your hunch deck. That was action 1. Action 2, I'm going to move myself over here to the entryway, and then I'm going to spend 2 clues so that we can reveal the upstairs hallway. Let's see what we find. We find a location with a shroud value of 2 and no clues. We can spend 2 clues as a group to put the set-aside attic location into play. Do we want to go up that ladder? Well, I don't know if we do or we don't, but I do feel like I want Joe to move up there. So that's going to be his 3rd action, and he'll be done for this round. We'll move to that upkeep phase because from how I understand it, this ghoul is not going to move. It's not a hunter. There's nothing here that's stating it's going to be a hunter. So it's going to just stay where it's at. We're going to have Patrice gain her 3rd, and then Joe will gain his 2nd. Patrice will draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 beautiful new cards. And, oh, awesome. Still no weaknesses every time I draw, though. And, yeah, we can definitely use these desperate searches. Cool. For Joe, he'll draw 1 card, and he gets the Inquiring Mind. And then we'll have to take our hunch deck, and we're going to reshuffle it up. And then I'll reveal that during the investigation phase. I know I shouldn't say it, but I'm going to. Things could not be going better right now. We'll place our 3rd Doom here. Let's draw our encounter cards. This one will be for Patrice, and we have Night Terrors. Put this into her threat area. After you fail a skill test, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, draw each weakness revealed this way, and remove the other cards from the game. You can do an action. If Night Terrors is in your threat area, test your willpower 4. After this test ends, discard Night Terrors. So yeah, I remember this one. We can probably have her deal with that. And then for Joe, Joe gets Secrets in the Attic. Oh, no wonder he's just about to get the attic. Oh, test your willpower 3. His willpower is 2. Not great. If you fail, take 1 horror and put this into play next to the agenda deck. Abilities on locations cannot be triggered. At the end of the round, we can put this back up. Okay, so we have a willpower of 2. There are no clues at our location, and the only one that I really have is Eureka. That would just add 1 and make us 3 to a 3. Well, the way that I've been drawing, do I just do the 3? No, I'm just not going to. We'll draw. If I get a +1 or a star, it'll work. That's not going to happen. You know that's not going to happen. Now we got a 0. Dang it, I should have added it in. A 0 means we failed. We failed. Why didn't I add the +1? Okay, so that means this is going to go by the agenda deck. At the end of the round, that will be discarded, but that means we can't do any of these abilities on locations. Well, you know what, Encounter deck? I didn't want to anyways. Or maybe I did. I don't know. We're going to do action 1 for Joe. Oh, wait, before we do that, I already shuffled this up. We'll reveal our top one. We have Working a Hunch. Let's see what we get by moving to the upstairs doorway. As an additional cost to investigate the library, you must either lose 1 action or take 1 horror. Okay, well, if I could get both of those clues... No, I can't. So maybe I will... Because I've got 2 actions, I'd love to get those clues. Do I really want 2 horror, though? I only have... Oh, you know what? I have Milan. Let's do it. Oh, even better, you guys. Let's do it this way. We'll use Working a Hunch. This is fast, so it doesn't take an action. And that's not investigating. We just gain that clue for doing that. And that was free because it came from our Hunch deck, and it's at a -2 cost. And it was fast. It wasn't even an action. I love that. So we've done 1 action here. We'll do action 2. We'll give Dr. Milan 1 horror to then be able to do the 5 to a 1. Yeah, it's really easy to search the library. And let's see what we get. We get a -1, 4 to a 1. Beautiful. We'll collect this and we'll exhaust Dr. Milan to get our 3rd resource. Then I think for my final action, I'm going to go ahead and just draw a card. I'm going to see we get logical reasoning. Great. First thing we're going to do with Patrice, use her violin. We're going to discard this impromptu barrier and generate 1 beautiful resource. Oh, I can just flip this. We have 4 now. Then we're going to try and take care of this Night Terror, doing a willpower test of 4. Let's go ahead and discard. It kind of makes me cry, but St. Hubert's Key, I still don't think I'm going to put that out. I need to have an ally out if I'm going to do that. So I'm discarding that so that I add +2 with my cornered. So we have 6 now to the 4, and I think that should be okay. Let's do 6 to a 4. Let's see what we get. We get a -1, 5 to a 4. We can discard this, no problem. For action 2 and 3, we'll just get ourselves to the upstairs hallway. At the end of the round, we'll generate 1 resource. That will give Joe a total of 4. Patrice will have 5. Patrice discarded her hand, 3, 4, 5. Here's her 5 cards. Okay, still no assets either, just all skill cards, but still no weakness. Joe will get over here, another Inquiring Mind. We'll place that 4th Doom on the agenda. We've got 1 more round before I'm assuming something's going to happen. Because right now this has been a cakewalk. Let's draw our encounter cards, starting with Patrice, and we have a Hunting Ghast. This one is not a ghoul. I don't see it say ghoul anywhere. It's a hunter. Preys on the most damage. After Hunting Ghast enters a location with a Gug enemy, ready each Gug enemy at its location and deal 1 damage to the Hunting Ghast. Oh, interesting. But yeah, that will actually engage Patrice, because that is not a ghoul. I don't see the word ghoul on it. So our second card, now that is a ghoul. See, it's a ghoul. It's got the ghoul keyword. It says prey lowest remaining health, but that is also just going to be at the burial grounds. We'll start this round with Joe. First thing we're going to do is reveal the top card of our Hunch deck, no stone unturned. Then what we're going to do for our free action is we're going to spend 2 of our clues. Investigators in the library spend 2 clues as a group. You read a strange journal entry regarding one of the graves in the burial ground outside. Put the set-aside unmarked tomb location into play. Here's our unmarked tomb location, and of course, you know what it's connected to, where those 2 ghouls are sitting at. I also should mention we're able to do that because we could discard this Secrets in the Attic card from last round. Fortunately for us, that was a free action. So our first action will be to drop down that beat cop. We're going to get rid of both of these resources. That's going to give us +1 to our fight, and we can discard the beat cop and deal 1 damage to an enemy at our location. Action 2, we're going to come over here to the upstairs hallway, right where Patrice is. We see that hunting ghast. Let's kill it. Now, the hunting ghast is still engaged with Patrice. I just have it here for recording purposes, and so that means, just like with Tony in the last playthrough, if I fail at this shot, I'm actually going to hit Patrice. Let's hope that doesn't happen. I'm going to use 1 bullet from our detective's Colt. That's giving us +1 fight and +1 attack. So our fight is 4, 5, 6. 6 to a 2, and we're doing 2 points of damage. So let's go ahead and draw, and we're going to grab this one. That's a 0. Awesome. We totally take him out. And then this states, if we defeat an enemy, you may move an insight event from your discard pile to the bottom of your hunch deck. And so I'm going to grab Shortcut. I love Shortcut. Being able to move, it's just so key. Moving to Patrice's turn, first thing she's going to do is use the free action here. Spend 2 out of her 3 clues, and we're going to put the set-aside attic card into play. They never unlocked that attic door, but left the whole house as it was, dreaded and deserted. When noises came from it, they whispered and shivered and hoped that the lock on that attic door was strong. And we want to go in here? Why would we want to do that? For some reason, I'm feeling like we might want to have Joe go in there, so I think what we're going to do is spend our first action to move to the upstairs. Okay, this is the bedroom. We can, if we want, in the bedroom, to take 2 actions and discard all non-weakness treachery cards from our threat area. We actually don't have any right now. We've been doing okay managing that. So what we can do is spend 2 clues here as a group to remember that the investigators found a cracked mirror. There's a lot of things we got to remember. I guess we can kind of assume that we've done all of them, but yeah. Let's go ahead and do an action here to investigate. So our investigate right now is 2. We're going to discard manual dexterity to make it a 4. And then we're going to use perception, max 1 per test, to make it a 6. So it's a 6 to a 3. And what we get is, let's draw from this bag, a -3. 3 to a 3. That's still okay. Let's grab that one. I like that. Our final action, we'll use our Sixth Sense. This is using our willpower, which is at a 4. We will discard overpower for our cornered, so we're actually at a 6, 6 to a 3, and then let's go ahead and use Defiance to make it a 7 to a 3. 7 to a 3. We should be able to do this. Come on, I believe in us. And we get a -3. Okay, we're still good. That will give us this last clue. And then we'll spend, because it's a free action, both of these so that we found a cracked mirror. We'll also use our violin here, discard the manual dexterity, and we will generate 1 more resource. So we now have 6 resources. We'll end the investigation phase. There are 2 enemies on the board. Neither of them are hunters, so they'll stay where they are. So let's go to the upkeep phase. That just means Patrice is going to draw 5 cards, and generate another resource. She is so many resources. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and Joe will just have 1. 7 and 1. And let's go ahead and draw our 5 cards. Man, we got our weakness. We seem to draw this, well, it makes sense with who we are. I don't know, I sound like it's terrible that we draw this, but it makes sense. Here's our 5. And then for Joe, Joe's just going to grab 1 card, taking the initiative. We'll move to that Mythos phase. We're going to be placing the 5th Doom on here, so let's go ahead and just take this Doom off. And let's flip this card over, and apparently it's an enemy. This is the Unnameable. Spawn at the attic or upstairs hallway. Assuming since we have the attic, that's where he's going to spawn. He's aloof, though. Hunter cannot be defeated. For each of the following that is true, the Unnameable gets -1 fight, -1 evade. The investigators found a cracked mirror. We did. Studied desecrated portraits or noticed the missing bones. So it's actually only a 2-2. Awesome. You felt an evil presence lurking here ever since you arrived. The entity defies all description. At times it appears formless, at others it embodies myriad shapes and features. You can sometimes pick out a particular aspect, an eye, a horn, a blemish, but it disappears as soon as you focus on it. Each swarm of rats gains swarming 1. Forced at the start of your turn, if the Unnameable is ready and at your location, you have to test your willpower 2. If you fail, it attacks you. even if it's not engaged. Because, yeah, it's aloof. We'd have to actually engage it, which would be silly, unless we wanted to engage it and then evade it to exhaust it. With that, we will draw our encounter cards. This first one is for Patrice. Ooh, test our willpower 4. If you fail, choose and discard one asset you control. I do not want to fail that. We'll discard Sixth Sense to add +2 to our willpower, so we're at a 6 to a 4. Let's go ahead and draw this, and we get a -2. Beautiful. 4 to a 4. We're good. Bring it. Our second card is the Swarm. I just knew when they talked about the rats being swarming, we were going to get one. I mean, at least it's Joe. He can shoot them down. But yeah, these are going to be engaged with him. We're going to start off with Patrice this round, and the first thing we're going to do is discard Winging It and exhaust Patrice's Violin. But this time we're going to try drawing a card, and we get Overpowered. Bummer. I was hoping for something to help us with Investigation. Joe's willpower is abysmal at 2, so I think we're going to be the ones to go into the attic. We're going to go 1, 2, and move ourselves into here. Now, technically, the Unnameable is here with us, but he is aloof, so he's not going to engage us, so we can do our own things. The only thing we have to be wary of is when we start our next turn, we have to do that test of willpower, and if we fail, he's going to attack us. So what we're going to do now, we need to get past a 4 Shroud. I'm going to go ahead and play Winging It for our third action. We're going to spend 1 resource to do this, and this says that we get -1 Shroud, so it's a 3, and then if we succeed, we get both clues. So it's a 3 to, unfortunately, our willpower is only, what is it? It's only 2. So we're going, and this is not our willpower. I'm talking about our investigation. So we're going to discard the Mists of Raleigh. So we'll discard this for our cornered ability. So that's going to get us to be a 4. And then we'll use Defiance as a 5. So it's 5 to a 3. 5 to a 3, 5 to a 3, 5 to a 3. You can do this. And we get a Cultist, which is reveal another token. And let's see, we get this, which is a +2. The Black Cat's going to help us. +2. The Black Cat causes a distraction. If this test is successful, choose and evade an enemy at your location with a fight value of X, where X is the amount you succeeded by. Well, we didn't succeed by 5. Oh, actually, let me think about this. Well, we don't have to evade them because we don't actually have them on us. But the great thing is we get both of these clues, which we will then immediately use this ability so that we remember that we recovered a strange key. For Joe over here, the first thing we're going to do is draw his Hunch card, and he's going to get the No Stone Left Unturned again. I think we're going to attack these rats, and I'd love to shoot them, but I really want these for those ghouls that we have over there. So instead, I'm just going to punch them. We have a total of 5 to their 1, so that's why I kind of want to do it this way. So we'll attack. Here's our first one is 0. We just took out the swarm, so that'll go to the bottom of our deck. Action 2, we'll get a star. That gives us +1, so we definitely kill them. You may move an insight event from your discard pile to the bottom of the insight deck, or hunch deck. I really like these working on a hunch. So we'll put that on the bottom of our hunch deck. And this guy's toast. We'll then use our third action to move to the entryway. Now that will end our investigation phase. We do have one enemy out, the Unnameable, but it is already in a location with someone, so it's just going to stay, even though it has the Hunter keyword, it's just going to stay in the attic with Patrice. These ghouls down here still won't move, so let's go ahead and just generate resources. Joe will get his 2nd, and Patrice will get her 7th. Joe will draw 1 card, and he gains his magnifying glass. Great. Patrice will have to keep the Blasted Watcher in her hand, and she'll draw 2. Oh, that's going to go out in her threat area. 3, 4, and 5. And then let's go ahead and put this out. This is her Amnesia. Choose and discard all but 1 card from your hand. Well, we're going to discard everything. We just have the Watcher from another dimension in our hand. We'll go ahead and drop our first Doom on here. And you guys, this came at the worst time. She's all on her own in the attic with the Unnameable. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Here's our first Mythos card, and this is for Patrice, and we get Glowing Eyes. Put Glowing Eyes into play in your threat area. At the end of the round, take 1 horror for each card in your threat area to a maximum of 3 horror. Wow, okay. That's going to give her 5th horror. She doesn't have anything else in her threat area, at least. Joe will then grab Obscuring Fog, which is beautiful because he's in the entryway and there's no clues there. Give that +2 Shroud all you want. We're going to start this round with Joe, so let's go ahead and shuffle up our hunch deck, and we're going to reveal scene of the crime, which is useless for him for his first action. Instead, what he's going to do is move into the burial ground, and he's going to automatically engage these two ghouls. I've got 2 actions left. Let's go ahead and attack that ghoul minion. We'll use one of our ammo here. So we have 1 plus 4 plus 1. So that's 6. 6 to a 2. Yeah, he's going to be toast. Yeah, that's actually that's a plus 2. Totally. Thank you. And we can evade equal to the amount. Do we want to just evade? No, I don't want to evade this guy. I want to kill him. So we're going to kill him for action 2. And then action 3, we'll go ahead and use another one of these. Oh, and we killed an enemy. So we can, let's take this working a hunch, and let's put that at the bottom of the hunch deck. And then action 3, let's shoot this ravenous ghoul. So this is our final bullet. That's risky. Yeah, let's do it. We're at 4, 5, 6 to a 3. We're going to reveal this. This is a -2, so that's 4 to a 3. We succeeded. We dealt him 2 points of damage, and then we'll discard our beat cop for the 3rd to take him out. We'll start Patrice's turn by doing a willpower test of 2. Our willpower is 4, and we grab a -2. That makes us 2 to a 2. Let's run away from him. We have 3 actions, so we're going to do 1 to the upstairs hallway, 2 to the entryway, and 3 to come here and hang out with Joe at the burial ground. That'll end the investigation phase, and the unnameable is simply going to move to the upstairs hallway. We'll then move to that upkeep phase. Patrice will gain another resource. Joe will also gain another resource. He has 3. Patrice has 2, 4, 6, 8. Patrice will draw 4 more cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Oh, finally, Peter. I need someone with some sanity soak. That was key to draw. Joe over here will simply draw 1 card, and he gets his enchanted blade. That also is really key because he has no weapons right now. We're also going to take his hunch deck and shuffle it in because I'm going to remember to do that now. And then at the end of the round, Patrice is going to take 1 horror because of the glowing eyes. That's her 5th horror. Our second doom will be placed. Now let's draw our encounter cards. Our first card is for Patrice, and she's going to get the locked door attached to the location with the most clues and without a locked door attached. What do you do when there's no location with clues? I think you get to pick. So I'll go ahead and pick the library way up there. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to go back to that place. And then this one is for Joe, and he gets grasping hands. Oh, I hate that picture. Test our agility at 3, and we take a point of damage for each one we fail by, and our agility is 2. Let's see what we can do about that. Well, we might as well use our take the initiative. No one has taken any turns this round, so that's going to give us 3. So we're at a 5 to a 3. And let's go ahead and reveal a token. We got a 0. Beautiful. That means we took no damage. I'll take that. Let's go ahead and start off with Joe. We'll reveal our hunch card. We have no stone unturned. Yeah, eventually I should actually use that, but I never feel like I have time to do that. We're going to do action 1, our enchanted blade. Spend these 3 resources. We're going to get 3 charges. That way we have a powerful weapon at least. Then for that action 2, let's go ahead and move to the unmarked tomb. I'm a little bit nervous about this. Let's see what we find. At the end of the round, if each undefeated investigator is at unmarked tomb and the investigators recovered a strange key, beautiful, we have, advance the act. Oh, sweet. We have one more action. Let's go ahead and try and get one of these clues. So we have a total willpower of 4 plus 1 for Milan. This will be at number 5 for Eureka. And if we succeed, we can look at the top 3 cards. So 5 to a 3. Let's see what we get. And we get this, which is an auto fail. I hate the auto fail sometimes. That means we don't get the search. Bummer. First thing we're going to do as Patrice is move into the unmarked tomb. Then we're going to discard this improvised weapon to go ahead and generate another resource using Patrice's violin. Then we're going to, for action 2, get Peter Sylvester out. He's going to cost us 3 resources, and finally we have some sanity soak. That's really what we needed. And then finally, I think we're going to attack the Watcher in another dimension. We need a 5. Our combat is only 2, but we're going to go ahead and use our Reckless Assault here. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're 6 to a 5, and we're going to discard Perception for our cornered. So that will put it at 6, 7, 8. 8 to a 5. Come on. 8 to a 5, 8 to a 5, 8 to a 5. That's a star. Really? Well, I mean, we had an auto fail, and then we get a star. So we get +1. That means we killed this stupid thing. And then we're going to leave that in the discard pile. And we're going to shuffle all but one card back into our deck. Yeah, not that one. We're not going to shuffle that in our deck. During the enemy phase, the Unnameable is going to take another step towards us. Now let's go to the upkeep phase. Joe will generate 1 resource. Patrice will have a total of 2, 4, 6, 7 resources. Patrice will draw 5 cards. She's got that bloodstained dagger. Cool. And the Mists of Raleigh and another Winging It and an Impromptu Barrier. And then Joe will draw his 1 Wimpy card. Oh, he gets Psychosis. He's going to have to spend 2 actions to get rid of that. And then he will also shuffle his Hunch deck, like so. At the end of the round, since we have found that strange key, we will advance the Act deck. The tomb opens into a staircase that stretches deep underground before disappearing into darkness. Set the Unnameable aside. It keeps all tokens and attachments, so it doesn't have anything, that's fine. Remove each location from the game, or put it in the victory display. Investigators are not defeated during this process. Other enemies and attachments to those locations are discarded. Shuffle the set-aside Mysterious Stairs locations and put 5 of them into play in a vertical line. Remove the remaining Mysterious Stairs locations from the game. Place each investigator and the set-aside the Unnameable enemy at the topmost Mysterious Stair location, revealing it. Search the encounter deck and discard pile for both copies of the Locked Door and both copies of the Secrets in the Attic and remove them from the game. Shuffle each set-aside copy of Endless Descent into the encounter deck along with the encounter discard pile. The Endless Stairs. I feel like we just did this a couple scenarios ago. The steps seem to descend forever. Every time you think you're nearing the end, you round another corner and see hundreds more. While the bottommost Mysterious Stairs location is revealed, it gains Resign. Objective: reach the bottom of the stairs. If each undefeated investigator has resigned, advance. Oh, this is cool. I like this. So I know I'm supposed to do top to bottom, but cameras are all set up wide angle, so we're going to go from left to right. So pretend we're going down the stairs that way. And this is something that I think they do really well in this game, is they give you those different feels of how the game is playing. I love this. I really feel like I'm going downstairs. If you remember from The Forgotten Age, one of the first ones with the temple one, where you're running away from the temple and cards are disappearing. Oh, anyways, I'm really impressed how they do that. So I had to reveal this location, though. And it states, after you enter this location, lose 1 action. So I'm going to assume we only have 2 actions each the next round. And the other thing that stinks, we're going to be placing our 3rd doom here, but it says at the start of your turn, if the Unnameable is at your location, you have to test your willpower too. I was avoiding that, not going to avoid that anymore. He's right there in our location. We'll start drawing encounter cards. Patrice is first. She gets Grasping Hands. She needs to test her agility. Her agility is normally 2. I'll go ahead and discard Winging It to push us up to a 4 at least. And then let's draw. Now I just want you to know all these locations are graveyard locations. That means these skulls are now -3 instead of just -1. Oh, that's a -1. Perfect. So we took no damage for that. So that was for Patrice. And then this will be for Joe. And he gets the glowing eyes. So at the end of the round, oh man, the end of the round, because he has Psychosis here, if I don't get rid of that, he's actually going to take 2 horror. Let's go ahead and start with Joe this round. We'll get our Hunch deck. Let's draw our top card. Getting clues is totally useless right now. There's no clues at this location. We're going to have to do our willpower test of 2, and our willpower is 2. So Patrice is going to use this Deny Existence card. It's got the question mark here, so that's going to give him at least a +1. So he's at a 3 to a 2. Might not be worth it, but you never know. You never know. We got a -2. We still failed. So he's going to attack us for 2 physical and 2 mental damage. Ow. That is somewhat of a killer. Ow. I think then our first action is going to be to run away. Go away, Unnameable. And we're going to flip to here. And it states, as an additional cost for you to move or resign at this location, you must discard 1 or more cards from your hand with at least 2 instances of the same skill icon among them. Oh. Was it 1 or 2? I actually can do that. Oh, but I can't do anything else. That's all I can do because I only have 2 actions. Patrice is going to go next. She's going to discard her Impromptu Barrier to give herself +2 to her willpower. She's at 6. It's 6 to a 2 for her test on the Unnameable. As much as I don't want to, I might actually leave her. Oh, she gets the 0. I might actually leave her where she is just because the unnameable then won't follow Joe. Yeah, I think that might be the best idea. Or I could engage the unnameable and then try and evade it to exhaust it. The problem is I only have 2 actions this round, so that's silly. So I'm not going to do that. So instead, I'm just going to stay where I am. I'm going to discard the Miss of Raleigh. Oh, wait, or I could play it. You can spend 1 to evade. I think I actually need to play this card. So we have 2 actions. This is going to help us to evade because we're going to need to be able to evade that unnameable as we go through this. So we'll spend 2 actions, gain 3 charges. This is our second spell. So yeah, we can have this out. And then what the heck? For our final action, we'll use our other hand to put out the blood-stained dagger. That costs 1 resource. The only enemy out on the board this round is the unnameable. He's not going to move because he is already in the same location as Patrice. So we're just going to have resource generation. 5 for Patrice, 2 for Joe. Joe will go ahead and draw a card, and he's going to gain emergency cash. He's also going to take his hunch deck and shuffle in that card. There's not a lot of good hunch cards for this. Well, actually, we've got that shortcut. If we could get that shortcut up here, that would be beautiful. And then Patrice will go ahead and draw 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the top of her deck. And let's see. Okay, last chance is good. Yeah, we've got lots of willpower. Well, this is going to hurt Joe a little bit. He's going to take 2 horror because of the glowing eyes. And then because he has his psychosis out, he's going to take 1 direct damage. So he has 3 damage and 4 horror. And then we can at least discard this one. I've got to take care of that psychosis. We'll place that 4th Doom onto here, and then now let's draw our encounter cards. Our first card will be for Patrice, and she gets Obscuring Fog attached to your location, limit 1 per location. It gets +2 Shroud. That's not a problem right now. I don't see Shroud being a problem. I'm not seeing any clues here. We get a Ghoul minion for Joe. We'll start off with Joe. Let's draw our top hunch card. Yeah, it's all about clues. We don't need clues right now. For Joe's first action, let's go ahead and attack this Ghoul minion. We are going to use a charge, which means we're going to get +2 and +1 damage. So we're at 4 + 2, which is 6. 6 to a 2, and we reveal this, which is a -2. Not a problem. He's gone. Action 2, let's move to the mysterious stairs here. When this location is revealed, place 2 resources on it. While there are resources on this location, investigators at this location cannot move or resign. We can take an action to test our lowest skill. If successful, discard 1 resource from that location. That's kind of cool, actually. I think that means let's test our willpower because we have this logical reasoning. I was saving it for the horror, but let's keep pushing. So that means we're at a 4. It's a 4 to a 2. As long as we get a 2 or higher, let's see what we get. We get a skull that's a -3. So we failed. Oh, man, that's brutal. Okay, so we discarded logical reasoning for nothing. As Carol, we're just going to run. First movement is we're going to move into here, and as an additional cost to move out of this location, we need to discard a card with 2 or more of the same icons on it. I've got Guts, so we'll discard Guts to move here. That's action 2. Then we'll go ahead and discard the Sixth Sense to use Patrice's Violin and generate a resource. Oh, you know what? We can do that for someone in our location, so we're going to let Joe generate a resource. He is resource starved, because usually he's getting resources with Milan and cluing, but he's not cluing. So we have 3 cards left in hand. What I'm going to do is I need to test my lowest skill, which could be any of these. So I'm going to use, well, not willpower. Bummer. I wanted to be able to heal the horror. That's all right. We'll say agility for this. We'll discard Fearless to gain +2 to our agility. We'll then play both of these, and that's going to mean that's a 4. Oh, no, I can't. I can only play this one. So I have 1 card in hand. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 to a 2. Yeah, as long as we don't get that auto-fail token, we should be good. No, we get a Cultist, which means we have to reveal another one, and we get a 0. Beautiful. That means we can remove 1 of those resources. During that enemy phase, the unnameable will advance. And now let's do our upkeep. So that means Joe will have 4 resources and Patrice will have 6. We'll have Joe draw a card and he gains Steadfast. And Patrice will grab 5 cards. She has Run for Your Life, Perception, Improvised Weapon, Deny Existence, and Ward of Protection. Oh boy, we're running low on time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more, we're going to move the agenda deck. We'll then draw our Mythos cards. Our first one is for Patrice, no way. Endless Descent. Move each investigator and enemy at the topmost location to the location below it. Flip the tokens and attachments from it and place it below the bottommost location. Shuffle the position of each unrevealed location so you cannot tell which is which. Add this card to the victory display. No. Wait, let me see. Is that bad? Because we're not at the topmost. Oh no, never mind. This is adding that topmost location as another unrevealed location. No. I have that Test of Will. Oh man, playing too much Lord of the Rings. I have that Ward of Protection. We have a resource. We'll go down to 1. We'll put 1 horror on Peter Sylvester. We're canceling that because that's a non-weakness treachery card. No way, Jose. Okay, then we'll do Joe's. Indescribable Apparition. Put Indescribable Apparition into play in your threat area. You get -1 to each of your skills. You can spend 2 actions to get rid of it. Boy, that's... yeah, okay. Well, I think that's going to mean we definitely want to start with Patrice, because I do think I'm going to want Joe to get rid of that. Otherwise, this could be really brutal. To get rid of that resource, Patrice has to test her lowest skill. Well, she's going to use Agility and use Run for Your Life. So actually, it's a 6 to a 2. Yeah, I like it. I'm not even going to use Cornered on this. Let's see. We're going to get this one. That's a -3. 6 minus 3 is still 3, which is higher than 2. So that's going to give us that resource. Beautiful. Now we can move out of that location. That Unnameable is right on our heels. Let's run over to here for action 2. When this location is revealed, move the Unnameable to it. While the Unnameable is at this location and has fewer than 2 damage on it, investigators at this location cannot move or resign. So he's just going to appear right here as I'm running away from him, and we actually have to deal damage to him to be able to move to the next location. Let's go ahead and use our Violin quick and discard Improvised Weapon, and we're going to give 1 resource to Joe. That will be his 5th resource. And then I think our final action will be just to generate a resource. I don't want to engage that Unnameable. Yeah, I don't want to. We'll move to Joe's turn. First thing is we'll do his Hunch deck, and he gets no stone left unturned. I think this is all I'm going to do this round. I'm going to spend 2 actions to get rid of this Indescribable Apparition. Get out of here. And then I'm going to move into the same location as Patrice. We'll move into here, and then that's all we're going to do. That's our 3rd action. So we'll end our turn. During the enemy phase, he's not going to move. He's here, but he's not going to attack us because he's still aloof, thank goodness. We'll move into that upkeep phase. Joe will have a total of 6 resources, and Patrice will have 7. And then we will have Joe draw 1 card. So Joe's going to draw another Magnifying Glass. Blasted useless cards. Patrice is going to have to discard these 2, and she's going to draw 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's see what she gets. Oh, she's got some good attacking. Okay, and another Ward of Protection. That's great. Oh, and Peter will heal this 1 point of sanity damage at the end of her turn. Moving to that Mythos phase, though, the thing with no name, it's not going to be nameless anymore. Time is running short. The entity, which before had seemed content to loom and observe you from afar, now swells with power and pursues you with relentless ferocity. It writhes and thrashes seemingly everywhere at once. You have to hurry and confront your fears, or you will never find your way into the Dreamlands. Shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck. There was a vortex of withering ice-cold wind, and then the rattle of loose bricks and plaster, but I had mercifully fainted before I could learn what it meant. Each swarm of rats gains swarming 2. The Unnameable loses aloof and gains massive. Oh, okay. The massive thing, though, means we can still move out of its area, but it will do a reaction attack against whoever it's... well, it's actually going to be engaged with all of us because it's massive. Oh, geez. At the start of your turn, you still have to do the same thing. If the Unnamed is ready and at your location, you need to test your willpower. If you fail, it attacks you. Our first card here will be for Patrice. And we have the Blasted Endless Descent. I mean, at least it's coming when I have these tests of, or wards of protection. I'll spend 1 resource, we're down to 6, and then Peter will take 1 sanity damage, but we can cancel that. Jeez. And I'm assuming you guys, I shuffled in that other one that I had of those because it would only go to the victory display if it's been actually used. That's how I'm playing. And then we have the Knight of Tears for Joe. So that's going to go into his threat area. And then he can either test his willpower 4 and most likely fail and then discard it, or he can just have this out, and every time he fails a skill test, draw 3 cards and remove them from the game. We're going to start off this round with Patrice for sure. We're going to discard Perception to give +2 to our skill for our willpower test. So our willpower is 6 to a 2. That should really be good enough as long as we don't get the auto fail token. Oh my gosh, 6 minus 4 is still 2. Take that, you -4 token. We passed just barely, so we didn't get attacked 2 for 2. Then what we're going to do is we're going to attack this unnameable. Now remember, its combat value is only 2. We're going to use our fight here. We're playing it from our discard pile. We now only have 5 resources. It gets -1 fight, so its fight is only 1. And if we succeed, it's going to take 2 damage. I am definitely going to drop a Reckless Assault on this, though. So our fight is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 to a 1, because normally it's a 5. And let me see, the investigators found a cracked mirror. Yes, studied a desecrated portrait and no trade. Yep. So we did all 3 of those things. So it would normally be at a 2. Now it's at a 1. 6 to a 1. We draw the -4 again. So that puts us at 2 to a 1. We still did the 2 points of damage. Our second action for this round is we're going to try and evade this blasted unnameable. We're going to spend a charge to do so. And this says evade. This evasion uses our willpower, which is 4. If you succeed after evading the chosen enemy, you may move to a connecting location. If any of these symbols are revealed from this evasion attempt, choose and discard 1 card from your hand. So what I'm going to do is discard Overpowered to give my evasion a +2 for this. So I should say our willpower +2. So our willpower is 6. The evasion is 2 that I need to pass. So we just can't, actually the -4 would even work. We get a -1. Beautiful. So we just evaded the unnameable. So what's absolutely great about this is the unnameable will be exhausted, and for free, because we use the Mists of Raleigh, we get to move to the final stairs location. The question is, what are we going to find? We got clues on this one. Mysterious Stairs is connected to the locations above and below it. While there are clues on this location, we cannot move or resign. Oh, we just have to do a little investigating. Well, Patrice is known for just winging it, and after doing some damage to the unnameable, dodging the unnameable, running to the next room, she's going to go ahead and wing it here. This is amazing. Spending 1 resource. We're going to reduce the shroud by 1. This is coming from our discard pile, so this is only a 3, and we could collect both of those clues. And you know what we have in our hand? We have Last Chance. We have no other cards in our hand, so that's going to give us a +1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to our investigate. So 5 plus the 2 is 7. 7 to a 3. Oh my gosh, if she can get this, that would be amazing. -3, that would be a 4 to a 3. Beautiful. She just collected both of these clues. Oh my gosh, that MVP right there, MVP. For Joe's turn, all he's going to do is take his hunch deck, give it a good shuffle, and we get Scene of the Crime. We're not going to use that. We've got ourselves 3 actions. We can do 1 to move here, 2 to resign. We're out. Joe is out. We say thanks to Patrice. Now we just got to hope that Patrice can last this round. So we'll move to the enemy phase. The unnameable will just simply unexhaust. He's within 1 area. Let's go ahead and put some Doom and draw 1 encounter card. Wait. I got a little ahead of myself. We will generate 1 resource and we'll draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. And we have lots of great stuff. Some improvised weapons, unexpected courage. Love it. We'll drop our 1 Doom here and let's draw our encounter card. We'll draw and we get a ghoul minion. We can totally soak that damage. We'll be able to finish right now. Even though this ghoul minion is on us, we'll take an action to resign. We'll do the 1 mental damage here and 1 physical damage to her. For Patrice, she only has 2. We're good to go. The forlorn cries of the unnameable creature, whatever it is or once was, echoes throughout the unnatural cavern far above you. It cannot reach us down here, Randolph says, letting out a sigh of relief. It was a harrowing descent, but you are finally safe from the indescribable thing. Even so, your safety is fleeting. The stairway coils below you with no end in sight. Windows in the spire's stone wall overlook an endless landscape of rocky crags and barren peaks, dimly lit by gray phosphorus light. You are still many miles above the floor of this subterranean world, and who knows what horrors you may find once you arrive. This is only the beginning, Randolph warns you. There is no turning back now. Are you ready to proceed? Can I say no? This place is nothing like the mystical forest, charming medieval villages, and majestic panoramas of which Virgil Gray wrote in his stories. No, far from it. This cold, bleak gulf eats away your hope and replaces it with a feeling of empty, meaningless dread. You ask Randolph if this is the way to your comatose companions. You almost hope that you are traveling in the wrong direction, so you can leave this awful place behind. I do not know, he replies, peering out of one of the windows along the stairway. We have traveled beyond the waking world, but this is the lower plane of the dreamlands, known as the underworld. It is an inhospitable place. Many of the creatures we have seen crossing over into our world come from this region. Perhaps Arkean knew this was our true destination? Your guide examines the arcane key you found in the abandoned house, running his fingers over its arabesque as though recalling its shape, its weight, and its texture. His eyes water with the depth of his loss. You offer to hold the key for him, which yanks him from his private thoughts. Ah, yes, perhaps that would be best, he says, handing the delicate artifact to you. It is surprisingly heavy for something that, according to Randolph, is not even real. With Randolph and the silver key in tow, you continue your descent anew. The underworld may or may not be where your companions are, but if the creatures invading the world of the waking are indeed from this place, then perhaps you can find answers. Anybody else feel like Randolph is bad? I'm feeling like he's bad. That's my guess. In your campaign log, record Randolph survived the descent. In your campaign log, record the investigators possesses the silver key. Any one investigator may choose to add that to their deck. This card does not count into their total deck. Each investigator earns experience equal to the victory display. Your body now walks within slumbering dreamlands. Add 1 skull token to the chaos bag for the remainder of the campaign. We're playing as an 8-part, so if you are playing as an interconnected 8-part, and you've already played Scenario 2A, proceed to Interlude II the Oneironauts. This silver key looks pretty awesome. When you would take horror, exhaust the silver key to cancel one of that horror, I think I have to give that to Joe. He is the one I'm more worried about horror overall. We don't ever seem to get the same amount of experience as our ones that are in the Dreamlands, but we did gain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 plus the 4 that Joe has is 10. I think it's 8 now for the higher education, so hopefully I'll be able to get that. But I will record we have 6 XP. The black cat awaits you at the bottom of the stairs, watching your long descent with distant, unblinking eyes. You're about to ask how the cat got there when it cuts you off.
Don't bother. You wouldn't understand.
It curls up on the cold stone floor, lounging amid the bleak environment. Check the campaign log for the Web of Dreams, read the section that below that applies, then proceed to the following text. If neither section applies, skip them. Neither of them have applied to our campaign, so I'll skip them. That's so cool. You've about had it with this cat's cryptic half-truths and non-answers. You rail at the beast. How are you supposed to help when you might as well be stumbling in the dark? The black cat sits up and narrows its gaze.
I did not know if you could be trusted. To be honest, I'm still unsure. I've had visions of these events for many, many years now. I know some of what may come to pass, but not everything. You could be the ones who will save all of us, or the fools who herald our doom.
The cat's justification is convenient, but it does explain how it is known where to find you at every turn. You try to persuade the cat to trust you, but it remains unconvinced.
Tell you what. Beneath the surface of the Sea of Pitch lies a passageway between realms. That is where you need to go to stop this world from merging with yours. Make it there in one piece, and I'll tell you everything. But first, I have somewhere else to be. Your pals need me too, you know.
Check the campaign log. If the black cat has a hunch, no. Otherwise, the black cat once again offers to pass a message along to your companions. The lead investigator must decide. I feel like overall we're doing really well on this side, so why don't we see if we can help out our teammates and have record the black cat warns the others. So let's do that one, because that's what we did for them on the other side, so let's do it here. We're now going back to Tony and Luke. You open your eyes to the sound of the cat's shrill caterwauling. You had been drifting off to, well, not to sleep exactly. Despite, or perhaps due to, your dreaming, you have been unable to truly sleep in this realm. When you come to your senses, you spot the source of the wailing. Virgil's cat, black as the void of space itself, sits several feet away waiting for you to pay attention.
Finally,
It declares.
about time you noticed something outside your own head. Listen, I got something important to tell you. Wait, where's my human?
The cat asks, craning its head to look around the deck of your ship.
Didn't I leave him with you?
You explain that Virgil has been taken captive by corsairs, and the cat replies by licking its paws without much concern.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, I'm on the same page as you now. Now, where was I? Alright, I had a chat with your friends. They're in the Dreamlands now too. They have a message for you. Your friends are doing about as well as can be expected, really, but they're worried about you, and for good reason, it seems. They might not be able to reach you any time soon. They want me to help you out instead, so I'll be staying right here for a little while longer. Gotta make sure you survive. If you don't, well, let's not talk about that.
Check both campaign logs. If neither campaign log has the black cat is at your side recorded in the campaign log, no, record the black cat is at your side. So that's what we're going to do on this one. This is the 2A. We're going to put in that the black cat is on our side. We'll then add one of the squiggly tokens to the chaos bag for both campaigns. If the campaign log for the Web of Dreams B has the black cat is at your side, no, we don't have that. If the campaign log for Quest A has the black cat is at your side recorded, no changes are made. Okay, perfect. I think we're all set. Hopefully I'm doing this all right. I would say of all of the campaigns, this one's the most confusing because I've got two sides and I'm writing about the black cats on both of them and Randolph's in both of them. But I love the interconnectedness. I'm just having slight challenges in understanding or making sure I'm doing it right. So let me know if you think I'm doing it wrong. I've got 6 XP here and 11 in the other one. Let me know what you think we should do for upgrades. We'll start scenario 3. Which one are we supposed to do next? Oh yes, we can do 3A or 3B. We can choose. I kind of like jumping back and forth, so unless you guys have a problem with it, I'm thinking of doing 3A, so we'll go back to Luke and Tony. Thanks again so much for watching. I will catch you at the next stop.